5:30, whatever. I had to get up to make the video because if I don't make the video, then I won't make the video, and the video won't get made, and then these ideas won't get shared, and then maybe the world will end. So I just was thinking about Week to Warrior and how I was doing Week to Warrior Kettlebell Club way back at the beginning of COVID. And I started this thing. I was just like, Week to Warrior Kettlebell Club. It's great doing that. And I was thinking about why that ended up not. It was just this thought, this kind of amalgamation of thoughts I was having. This revelation came to me out of the ether. Because I was like, at the beginning, my kettlebell club was exploding and it was working really well. And then it stopped working as well. And I'll explain why. It's this us versus them thinking. And beginning of COVID, it's very much, okay, we're all in this together. I'm making this kettlebell club for everyone. People can't go to the gym. They can't exercise. What can I do to help me? Check my battery. Make sure I don't run out of battery while I'm filming this. So check my battery. That's hilarious. But see what I can do to help. You know, like people can't go to the gym. Let's help people exercise. Help people eat healthy. Let's help people do all the things that they couldn't do during COVID. But at some point, my mentality shifted, and I stopped viewing COVID as, oh, we're all in this together. I started viewing this as like, holy cow, there's these like psychos out there who are forcing everyone to wear face diapers and doing this all for no reason. And a lot of this is because the evidence that masks actually did anything was zero, and that came out. And the evidence that COVID was even that deadly came out, and it was basically zero. And the there were a bunch of people that tried to like fight me in grocery stores and stuff, which really like made me not like the maskies. Cause I'm like, oh, like you're just gonna try to like literally assault me in a grocery. You're gonna like literally assault me in a grocery store, and then all these masked people are gonna do nothing, and it's just freaking like it's just this psycho reality. But anyway, so like COVID, in the levels of energy sense, COVID just dropped society from like a 200 to a 3 level to like 100, just from like everything's good, just straight fear. Like everyone's operating at a level of straight fear. So, at the very least, it made me hostile towards other people because I'm like, oh, well, you're like not like, you don't like me. Like, you don't like me because, like, you want me to do what you think I should do. And if I don't do what you think I should do, then you're going to, like, be mean to me, try to fight me, whatever. So, creates us versus them thinking. And then, because of the us versus them thinking, I can no longer engage in business. Like literally, like I stopped being able to, like the kettlebell club stopped being successful. I was like, I mean, it's still good at business in other ways, but like at least like that level of business just shut down to me, the kettlebell club, because you can't. And this is something I realized, like you can't do business with people when you're engaged in an us versus them mindset. This is the other thing I thought about with like regards to like social media platforms and how they were created versus how they are evolving. And they were created in a very like we're all in this together kind of a mentality. Like, oh hey, like Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook, like, oh hey, like people at Harvard, let's all just have this website we can all get together on and like everyone can just share their opinion and like see who's up to what. Isn't that so cool? And then Facebook becomes really big and becomes part of the establishment. And then Facebook starts engaging in us versus them thinking. Like you start see they start censoring points of view. They're like, well, we're like literally it's like, well, we like they start viewing themselves as establishment, and then you see it. They view themselves as establishment, and they view anti-establishment people as like them, us, them. And then they have to like they act like a body having an immune response. They start attacking them. But that's the opposite of business. So then it ends up like censorship and stuff is really really bad online. Because I was thinking about this too in some sense of like why is it? Oh, I think one of the ideas that's leading me to this is like why is it taking me so long to like I guess like open up on YouTube, and like part of it is just that like I don't know like how like you just not talking about like personal stuff, which is hard. But the other part, like I was thinking like why just even like free associating in some ways is like hard on YouTube. Like why it like took me longer to really start to free associate. It was just so this us versus them thinking. Like basically, like I like shared some anti-COVID thoughts during COVID on Facebook, and I ended up getting like temporary bans and stuff, and like it hurt my business, and then that like hurt me, and I'm just like, okay, well, again, these platforms are hostile, us versus them, because I mean they're doing it, like they're just doing it. Like let's be real, they're making it us versus them by banning people who express counter establishment opinions, and that creates the us versus them mentality. But really though, it's interesting because like if they have that us versus them mentality, and if Facebook decides like, okay, we're going to only allow people who agree with us on our platform, like instead of just being like, oh, we just provide people the ability to communicate, as the government was kind of asking them during the trials, like, are you a publisher or are you a platform? Like, you can't be both. So basically, it's like, are we going, like, if they're going to, I mean, just straight up, like, I have like some worries about my business because I'm kind of a little anti-establishment. I'm like, hey guys, I like, like it's like the latest, like let's just throw this out there as a meme. Like the latest victim class, let's say, is people who are suffering from a disease that the mainstream couldn't cure. Or like if you have like a vaccine injured child, like that's a big thing. Like if you like had a kid and your kid's vaccine injured, ooh, like yeah, that's discrimination. Like I haven't experienced that, but other people have, and like that's discrimination because people would just be like, ooh, like you're like an untouchable now because you have an unspeakable illness. In the same way, like if you have like Kayla Peterson, for instance, like she did it, like she like had a band TED Talk and stuff. Like a lot of people, well, I guess she's on YouTube, which is fine. I guess that it makes me hopeful. Michaela Peterson's on YouTube. Because I just don't want them to be like, you're telling people that insomnia medication and insomnia treatment is not perfect. Banned. Throw him with the COVID deniers. Just feel like they do that. Um, but yeah, I don't know though. Yeah, I don't really though, in some sense though, because if I really did, I wouldn't have said that. Because if I really thought that, then I'd be engaging in us versus them thinking, which, like I said, is probably gonna ruin the world. But my stomach is like killing me right now for whatever reason. Probably the tequila I had last night. Oh god, alcohol is like not good. I didn't even have that much. Oh, it's not worth it, guys. I'm gonna be like, I mean, like if you're really top notch shape, you can do it. But I'm not the toppest notchest of shape right now. Gotta rest. Okay, well, I think this might be the end of the us versus them thinking video. But that's the thing I realized. Oh, so why I'll never start a true cult. So the reason for that, just to wrap up before my phone dies, is to start a true cult, you have to create a massive amount of us versus them. And to do the massive amount of us versus them, you ultimately other people in a way that makes it impossible to do business with them. And then it also makes it impossible to like evaluate ideas properly. So it's like I would never really want to have a group of people that I'm leading who are incapable of engaging in independent thought. Because if you're incapable of engaging in independent thought, then you're not really that much use to me. Like maybe as a lackey, but like I don't want lackeys. Really, I want people around me who engage in independent thought. I want people around me who are much more open, and people who are in an open state that allows for business are not engaging in us versus them thinking. Just interesting. I just realized that our ability to not engage in us versus them thinking is basically what keeps the world going. So like the more I can view someone as similar to me, the more I can benefit from their existence. Um At first I was like, what about pedophiles? Could I view them as similar to me? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't benefit from everyone's existence. Maybe not everyone needs to exist. I don't know though. I just don't like if there was a way to help them, but like this interesting thing. So this is something Jim Caudy. My dad has this picture, and it's for National Art Hate Week, and it's a baby with swastika irises. It's like this like idea of like can someone be born evil, and like I kind of feel like pedophiles probably are. But I mean, then again though, I mean they're only like no, I think that's straight from the pits of hell. 'Cause it's like, well, they're not like literally torturing people to death in the most creative ways, but I think that's just because they're not that creative. I think the motivation's there. I think pedophilia is straight from the pits of hell. But yeah, so us versus them thinking. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-do. Yeah, I'm engaging in some of that with pedophiles, I guess. I don't know. I don't really want to do business with pedophiles. But it's still interesting to think about, though, the us versus them thinking. So, as the world starts to engage in more us versus them thinking, business will break down, which is also going to make everyone poorer, which is going to put stress on everyone, which is going to make everyone want to engage in more us versus them thinking, which will make everyone poorer. So we need to have people who are more creative than the desperation that illusorily presses on all of us, the Phantom Menace that it is. It's just such a great movie. Like, honestly, the Star Wars prequels are really good when you actually analyze them. I think that people just hate on them because they don't like themselves and they've never had to actually create anything. Uh, yeah, I think that's it. Okay.